So it's another bacon butty. Only Neil's partaking this time. I'm trying to watch my weight. The international break's always a funny one, isn't it? Because it really is a distraction. There's never really any good news stories. It's more just kind of getting through it. But this time there's been a few good news stories, I think, for Liverpool, and mostly based around our leaders. We always talk about how great it is we've got so many leaders in the team. But again, international breaks, sometimes it makes it more difficult because it means that they're always going to be playing. But for three of them in particular, I want to zero in on. It's been a very interesting time. Like, before we do though, I want to give a shout out to Conor Bradley, who has joined the leadership group at the age of 20-nothing.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
It is amazing. And we won't talk about Robbo because he's still got another game to play. Although, if you are watching Robbo, have a word with the Scottish boys. Leave Diogo alone.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he's your target.
Yes, very much so. Anyway, back to the main thing. We'll talk about our leader and the Netherlands leader first, Virgil van Dijk. So for the first time in a while, he hasn't played 2 games for the Netherlands, mainly because he got himself sent off.
Self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted, and it's a very strange thing because it was everybody in Liverpool immediately celebrated. Everybody in the Netherlands absolutely did.
Yeah, Marco van Basten, I'm sure, will be leading the chorus of boos and cheers. It seems every time he goes away with the international team, whether it's a tournament or, you know, friendly or Nations League games, he's the subject of so much scrutiny. And I understand why, because he's arguably their only world-class talent, their only genuinely top-class star. Yeah. And for a nation that has such a rich pedigree. And it's a strange one, isn't it? Because for many years, the Netherlands didn't do anything on the international scene, and they've had some real fallow periods, but their highs have been high. Yeah. Like, they have watched some footballers, it's safe to say, and so, and they're all part of the media. It reminds me a little bit of, you know, the sort of mass enclave of ex-Liverpool pundits that we used to have, you know, criticising in the Evans and Houllier era. The lads who've won the lot and did it all and got the T-shirt, and it's a bit like that with the Netherlands, isn't it? And it seems almost that Virgil, he can't do right for wrong with his national team, because if he plays well, that's what's expected of him, and he just isn't able to produce that week in week, certainly not when he's playing alongside De Ligt. But on this occasion, I don't think we can blame a Manchester United player, because, I mean, the yellow card for the dissent to me was ridiculous.
It was.
You know, Virgil himself has made the point, he's the captain. He is allowed to approach the referee. He wasn't ranting and raving. It wasn't really a repeat of what we saw at Newcastle last season. No. And it's his first red card for the Netherlands in some 77 games, I think I read. So he is calm in the scenario. I can't understand why he's taken the booking. But then a player of his experience knows that he can't make the tackle that he then makes. Yeah, and the second one is interesting for me because if he was doing that in a red shirt, you'd be like, well, why has he dived in there? Why is he not just shepherding him along? Because the guy's right out on the touchline. And yes, there's a ball into the middle that could put him under pressure, but there were defenders in the middle as well. It's like, do you think that maybe somewhere in the back of his mind, he was still conserving a little bit of energy? Because it's like, I know that I've got 2 games here for the Netherlands, and I also know that I've got a big period coming up for Liverpool. Yeah, he didn't really open his legs and go full pelt, did he? No. And maybe he just thought, as he has done so many times before, I can ease this guy off the ball, I can push him off, and then he obviously feels that he has to make a challenge, and it's the wrong one, there's no doubt about that. But you're right, we are obviously all delighted from our point of view, from a Liverpool-centric, that he will be back for Chelsea, rested, about that extra 75, 80, potentially 90 minutes in his legs. And that's a big game, and you know, we've been eyeing this one on the horizon for a while, I think, Chelsea, in terms of a test. And they have some suspensions, they can have some absences. Fofana's suspended, Cucurella's suspended. Fortunately, it looks like Cole Palmer is fine. I don't think he had any hiccups on international duty. No. But we want, you know, a full complement when we return for a fixture like that. So that's a plus, and then obviously, as we're going to come on to, there's another big plus with a main man. Yes, exactly, Mr. Mo Salah, who also only played 1 game for Egypt against Mauritania. Scored, did very well by all accounts in that game, but it was a tough game for a lot of reasons. The Mauritanian team, I don't know if they've got a reputation across all of Africa of being a bunch of groks, but if they haven't, they should have by now. But they're luckily... Are they the Wimbledon of the African continent? I don't know. We just didn't know. No, we didn't know. But either way, he got through it unscathed, and his manager has taken one look at the pitch in Mauritania and decided we don't want Mo Salah anywhere near that, because it's an interesting one, really, because
he is the captain, and as we've seen with Kylian Mbappe, when your captain's being protected or /rested, then it can cause upset amongst the country. Definitely. But I think there's been a real acceptance over the last 12 to 18 months that it's in everybody's interests to protect Mo Salah a bit now.